towards finding that joy, that peace of mind, which we know dwells deep within us. Many of us, in the course of what we could perhaps call a sort of a pilgrim's progress, have knocked on many doors. Some of us have been very disillusioned, but we've learnt. And we've learnt that you can't pay for this, whatever it is. It's no good going to big, fancy gurus who sit up on some throne or another and say, oh yes, give up all the worldly riches, just pass them over to my side, I'll take care of it for you. Who say, yes, give up your wives and your families, just put them over there, we'll show you the way. Because we never found what we were looking for. It now turns out that the real person, the genuine person, was with us very quietly. Mataji Nirmala Devi was bringing up her family, being the wife of an Indian United Nations diplomat, bringing up her grown-up daughters, and seeing her grandchildren grow until the time which is now, when she has come out to be with us, her larger family. The mother has told us that all who are seeking, and truly seeking, are her children. And she is the one who has come to help us find what we were looking for. By the time we've met Mother, we've learnt that you can't pay for it, you can't jump up and down for it, you can't read books for it, you can't do it by any brain power or physical effort. It's only the grace of God. And the time has come when so many are seeking that grace is now descending on all those who are humbly in their heart asking for it. We have learned that there is within us a residual spiritual energy called as Kundalini. It resides at the base of the spine, and it is the awakening of that Kundalini and the passing of that Kundalini up through the 7 spiritual centers or chakras in our body until it reaches here, the 1,000-petal lotus of the Sahasrara. It is that which brings the integration of the personality and leads us to that state of thoughtlessness, of inner peace, and of perfect joy. In the presence of Her Holiness Mataji, and really by virtue of her love, you'll feel it. We often say, oh, somebody's got good vibrations. I feel good when I'm near them. Well, when you're near Mataji, you feel so good that you realize that you felt what you were praying to feel. The granting of self-realization, which can come to any real seeker in Mataji's presence, is experienced as a cool breeze on the hands. And you don't have to do anything to get it. When you see Mother, you will see a very simple but very fascinating, very beautiful, very loving, very warm person. And again, it strikes me that those money-grabbing fakes are sitting in the fancy palaces. And yet Mother herself comes here to our own little Hampstead, to our own little meeting house, to be with us and to find her children. You don't have to do anything, just to relax. You can sit with your hands like this, because these fingers are receptors of the vibrations of the spirit. Those of us who have always felt that there was something connecting all living beings have a feeling for what this is. Those of us who have always felt, oh, there is something coming out of the trees and the clouds. There is something coming from all people. I'm not bothered whether they're white or black or green or yellow. I'm not bothered whether they're rich or poor. I can feel the love inside them. I can feel that there is something connecting me and them. Those of us who have ever begun to feel that will indeed feel a great thrill when we realize that by the grace of Mataji Nirmala Devi, it is possible for us to become connected to that. Self-realization, which is spontaneous or sahaja in SahajaYoga, spontaneous union, is a spontaneous connection of us with ourself, with our true self, which is the self that dwells in the heart of all beings. On very many levels, benefits come, as you can imagine. From inner peace, one gains stability, growing emotional security, growing physical well-being, all the things, really, that we have so long been seeking to find. And all I can say is this, that for those of you who are blessed to be here tonight and to meet Mother, I hope that you will enjoy the experience. And I hope that it will be for you, as it has been for so many of us, a real homecoming. And really, the end of a journey and the beginning of a very great adventure. It's a very wonderful, wonderful happening that is happening now for hundreds and thousands of people all over the world. We are very confident that all that which is not authentic, which is trying to make money in the name of spirituality, will be swept aside in the light of the coming of our Mother, Mataji, who is the real person. And that together we'll be able to go on this great adventure of becoming more and more ourselves, the selves we always dreamed of. So please just be relaxed and enjoy it. And I feel sure that for those who have really been seeking it, this evening will be as joyful and beautiful an experience for you as it has been for all of us, and one that you will be able to enjoy and repeat forever to come. Thank you very much.
Seekers who have achieved something, those who have achieved a lot, and there are some who are sincere. So when I talk to people who are sincere, it should be helpful to people who have really found out something, because they have to talk to such people, and we should help them to talk to people who are not yet being able to see it. Firstly, one has to know that there are many people afloat, in the market, as you can call, and they have many solutions to give and many things to pay also. While in SahajaYoga, one has to understand logically what should we expect. The logical side. Logic is different from rationality. One has to understand. Rationality is a thing that is an edge of your ego. Whatever ego says, you go ahead with it. You say, oh, it's rational. What's wrong? You do it. What's wrong? It has no background, it has no history, it has no experimental evidence. Nothing. It is just what's wrong, because it is like a bounder, you can call it, a bounder, who just want to jump into everything. That is rationality, which helps you to rationalize it. But the logic is it's a very deep and a wide. It comes from the experiences, from the knowledge of others, from the understanding of the depths of any problem. So you have to appeal to the logic of the seekers, not to the rationality. Rationality can be very misleading. If you try to pamper somebody's ego, you can easily appeal to rationality. It's very simple. And that's how so many people have ruined societies after society. So we have to see to the logic. Now we are here to see. Seek them. Some will say to seek spirit, to seek your self-realization, to seek God, to seek all sorts of things. But one thing is definite, that your awareness is not sufficient enough to seek. If it was, you would have found. Logically, we go to another point that every one of them in the scriptures have said that you are to be born again. You see, one time try some artificial method to show you that they pick up an egg around, alright? And ask somebody to break the egg. Now I'm born again. And go about saying I'm born again, born again. But something will happen to your awareness with that, do you think so? Will that give you a transformation? Logical. It will not. Something has to happen to your awareness is the point. Once it comes to that, one has to know it has to be something living. The process has to be living and spontaneous. It cannot be a dead process. Any process sound, you paint yourself up saying, I am twice born. Don't do that. Or you take a banner in your hand, go down and say, I am self-realized person. Do you become? You do anything like that, you cannot be. This is one thing that you cannot do artificially. You can do everything artificial. You can copy a silk, you can copy anything real into artificial. Absolutely just like that. But you cannot become real without something happening with you. Man has created nothing real so far. Surprising. Whatever is created is called man-made, means artificial. I mean, it's a very generous way of saying that it is man-made. It's very humble. Not God. So whatever has to happen within us has to be logically living. Some living thing has to happen. Some living to force us. So this is not mechanical. You cannot put some human beings into a machine and turn them out and say, now you are realized. You cannot give a certain. Something has to happen within ourselves, in our awareness, in understanding. Not rationally, not mentally, but in knowledge, built within our body. Like I have a knowledge, if I put my finger there, it will go. This knowledge I have because it burns. subjectively. I know it will burn. I have experienced it before, so I know that if I put my hand into it, it will burn. So something has to happen in your awareness by which you know that you have achieved something higher or more in your awareness. But this is also very tricky. It's extremely tricky because it's so subtle. The whole movement is so subtle that supposing you find this is moving from here by itself and settling down there. You can say this is divine force which is forcing this to go from there and settle down there. You may consider. Or you may even say that Mataji's photograph is doing that kind of a great work to put this down. I mean, you may consider. Rationally, you may say this must be divine. After all, something new has happened. You know, something has moved from here. Yeah. But then logically you see, what is the interest of Mataji to move this from there to there like that? I can just keep my hand. Moreover, by moving it from here to there, how do I change your awareness? Keep this point. What is the interest of God or anybody that is living force? The living divinity. What is the interest of God to do something which you can do already? Like as I said, moving this thing to here. Or you may suddenly, if you join some of these people, you may start suddenly jumping in your seat. I have seen some people doing that uncontrollably. We had a bad name, these people coming to us. They all said that Mataji was these people and we don't want to come to a program. So I did it, we should then knock them back to them. And jumping in the seat itself, I don't think it improves your awareness. I mean, logically. Rationally, you may accept that, oh, I was sitting, I started jumping, it was an accident. Anything abnormal that happens to a human being suddenly cannot be from divine. God is not going to make you more abnormal than what you are. He is going to grant you something by which you really have a pure balance, pure command, pure mastery. This tomfoolery is not going. That you sit somewhere and you start jumping. You look at somebody, you start going into circles and contortions. Or you start saying, no, ha, no, like that, or you start taking out your clothes. Nothing wrong as such. As people say, what's wrong? Nothing wrong. But nothing is right either. People don't understand when they say what's wrong, they don't see that what is right. When we suddenly say, what's wrong, do we say, is it right? It is wrong. So these things one has to know that something has to happen to your awareness. Now another point which we should note in our visa and in our life, that there are many people, great prophets and great people who have come on this earth. Their lives were not for a waste, just to be put into waste paper baskets. If they have said something, there must be some sense in what they have said. Should we not look into that and see what they have said? There also people can say, yes, there are many people. Like we can say a person can say, yes, Christ has said you have to be born again. All right. So we have a regular surface of that. You bring a baby and you stand there solemnly, take the baby, you put the water there, you are born again. You are baptized. Now you believe, years together we have been believing into all such things. Jews believe into another thing, Christians believe into another thing, and Hindus, God knows how many things they believe. Then the Muslims are, let's set the bed. Then they will say, how is it these years we have seen something, have said something, we have listened to that, we have agreed with them, and we have turned out to be fanatics. Ultimately, when the judgment comes in, God will say, you fanatics, get out. You get out. I am not recognized you. You may call me to Christ. You may be calling Christ. I will not recognize you. Get out. And say, sir, we have been going to church. We've been reading Bible quality reading. You don't want to recognize us. Now what is this? Then, what is the logic in that? How can we make out that what we are doing is not fanaticism, but is the right thing? The way we look at very religion is extremely bad. If you are a Jew, for you Moses is the last word, the end of it. If you are a Christian, then you just look at it only from Christ's side. If you are a Hindu, to you it is a kind of a funny ritualism. Have you seen other religions? Have you compared them from one to another? If they were all Christian people, if they were, then there should be some common point in them. Did you try to find out the commonness? This is logic. Logically, you will arrive at a point where you will see that they are all saying the same thing in different words and different styles according to the place they were born. They are just putting, suppose I take water and put it in different glasses. Will you call it water or will you call it some other names? Supposing I call it pani, or I call it jala, or I call it water, or anything, you won't call it vodka, will you? Water is water, and we know what water is H2O. In the same way, logically, we have to understand that all these religions have some common points. And all these people have something common. So when you study any religion, I have seen people in Christian sciences, this science, and they make sciences out of all this. What about divine science? The divine science has to be the same in every one. Has to be the same. Have you seen any seed sprouting in the other way? Everyone sprouts the same. Have you seen human beings laughing as if they are crying anywhere in the whole world, whether they are primitive, modern or extra modern, the latest? When it comes to smile, it's smile the same. When it comes to life, it's laugh the same. So much universal exists around us. Then why in religion the Muslims or the Jews or the Christians or the Hindus around these countries? How can they be different? How have they taken upon themselves that we are the special ones? And when you arrive at the gate of God, oh, you the fanatics. That's what we do. We are not fanatics. No. As long as you have not studied other religions and you have no understanding of other religions, you are a fanatic out and out. Take it out. Logic. Rationally, a fanatic is never a fanatic. He says, I am the savior of the whole world. I am going to save the whole world. But have you seen the other side of it? You don't know other religions. How do you know the whole world? What are you going to save people from? One fanatic becoming another fanatic makes no difference. Just branding them. Say a donkey is there. You brand him. A person is from Hampstead or from say, any other place. He will never know. Whether he is from any place, you brand him. This is a special donkey from Hampstead and a special one from some other place, call it Bombay or someplace. A donkey from Bombay. He remains a donkey everywhere. Whether you import him from India or you export him from here. Donkey will be a donkey out and out. In the same way, a fanatic will be a fanatic. Whether he becomes a Muslim, Hindu or Christian makes no difference. Because he has not seen what lies in the world. What there is a beauty. A Japanese lady, I went to Japan. And I said, what a nice garden you have. So she said, yes. I thought we were going to that garden till I saw an Indian garden. I said, what? Indian garden? I've never heard any praise of Indian garden. For the first time I've never seen myself. Oh God, you never been to an Indian garden. I said, what is it? The fragrance of Indian flowers. Oh, just so nasty. came out from the garden, I just went to an ordinary garden. Not very well kept, clumsy, quite funny. But the fragrance was there. Yes. I never felt the fragrance of Indian flowers before. In the garden I never felt it. Of course I loved all the flowers, but I didn't know that in the garden it's such a fragrant place to go to, just to sit down. You don't need all that artificial handling as the Japanese had done. It's the real flower that is just and you feel so happy. That's what every freedom is so beautiful, ruined by these facts. So one has to reach again to the point that we have to find out the common points about all these great things. Then, after that, we have to know that if these prophets had any meaning, if they are useless, people throw them in the sea, doesn't it? But if you are founding any one of them, then others must also have some meaning. I mean, if you are praising the lows, you have to praise the highs also. Then we should try to find out the connection between them, and in what cities they have come, and what they must have added to your awareness. Logically, you reach that point to find out. If you are really subtle, if you are a real seeker, you will go to the point and see and find out what have they added to the human awareness. Why were they here? What have they? What is their special? What have they achieved by being on this earth? They are called as incarnations, as great personalities. What must be their greatness that they came on this earth? They said they became human beings. They incarnated as human beings. They took human forms. They suffered forms. What must be their special? What must they have added to our awareness? What speciality they must have given to us? You must see their connection. Logically, you arrive at a point. Study. The other day I told you about Christ. That Christ came on this earth so that when He is awakened within you, all your sins will be sucked in, your karmas will be taken in. I wish the so-called Christians who went from here to India told this billion people, so they would have realized that this karma theory is over now. Don't go ahead with it. That would have stopped completely, but they never understood Christ. And they said, if you come to our church, your sins will be suffered. Christ is not church, and church is not Christ. This is the misery of the whole thing. He is about, if he is awakened within us, your ego and superego both are sucked in. You can see that in surgery. What a great contribution to life has done. That all our karmas can be sucked in by it. All of them have added. All of them, one and all of them have added a very important point within us. When they are awakened fully, we get that awareness. When Krishna is awakened within us, what do we get? Collective consciousness. When he is awakened, we get this collective consciousness, which is happening in our awareness, which is a living experience. It is not a dead experience of saying that you are my brother, you are my sister. No. Sitting down here, you can feel. You can feel on your fingers. When he is awakened within us fully, you can feel. Like these mad people, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna on the Oxford Street. Let's get the better about that. They have a shop selling these things that get put here, stick on, and then they jump there and fall down. What kind of awareness have they got, these mad people, except for getting throat cancers and things that people should believe into such nonsensical things? They are mesmerized definitely to believe into such things. You must know that something must happen to your awareness so that you become a different person, that you become master. Samartha. Equal to your need, samartha. Means also the master. You have to become that. Unless and until you become that, it has no meaning. It's all absurd. This kind of seeking and these organizations that are supposed to give you something are absurd. They are wrong. They are false. logically anytime. Something has to happen to our awareness. This is the main point one has to understand, logic. Now, supposing in SahajaYoga people claim that you become collectively conscious. If they claim, then there is some sense. If they claim you become collectively conscious, then there is some sense, no doubt. Because it's the question of your consciousness becoming something more than what it was. This is a very big promise which nobody can reach unless and until there is Kundalini awakening. If I say Kundalini, there are so many books on Kundalini already. If I say twice born, there are thousands twice born already roaming about in the world. I don't know where you say anything and they have a market for it. You want Kundalini? Alright, this one. What happens in Kundalini? Some people say that you start jumping like a frog. Now, logically, how do I accept that nonsense? That I'm going to become a frog and I'm not one. Why seeking? Why? Because you have not fully evolved. You have not found out your brain. You have to evolve. And that evolution, if it does not take place, if you do not evolve higher than what you are a human being, you are not going to become a bird to fly or become a frog. As some people told me, that their gurus have told them that you will be jumping like a frog. Okay? Our guru has said, I said, now your guru must be a big frog in his that he's trying to make. But even if any guru wants, he cannot make you a frog. Leave one on God. This kind of absurd thing that comes to you, it sounds really fantastic to you. I don't know what should I say to your intelligence. What about your intelligence? Why don't you use it to see us point very clearly that you are not going to become a frog at all. You are not going to become a frog. That's one thing. It should not happen. Kundalini is a living process. It is a living force. It rises spontaneous. Like when the sun comes, you see the bud opens up like that. You don't do it artificially, only the sun can. Because the sun has authority to bloom, to give chlorophyll, to do all these things. It's the only sun who can do it. If you try to do it artificially, it will die. In the same way, Kundalini will awaken if you have the authority. If the SahajaYogis have the authority, they can raise the Kundalini. You can see the Kundalini rising and pulsating at the base of many people. But when it comes to SahajaYoga, people become extremely aware. That's a good sign in a way. When it comes to a guru, they are absolutely docile and safe. They don't think. I had a disciple not a disciple I should say, because she was not my disciple as such, but disciple of a Lama. She came down to see. And she said with me, and more intimately she was asking me questions. How can it be? How can you raise the Kundalini? Who are you? How can you do it? All this. And I asked her, how many questions have you asked your Guru Lama the Great, who has now come Tibet? After finishing off the Tibetan people with all his exploitations, the ascetic people there, making them the poorest people in the world. Now they have landed somewhere here. And sitting tight, they asked them to make marble floors before they come in. Look at these. And these poor things have starved themselves for a year to make those marble floors. Because they can't live on any other floors. They're supposed to be wood or marble. It makes me laugh because, see, they should go to some places I know where they will be settled down with nice marbles falling on them. Good idea. These poor things, these young people, starve themselves for one. These are so thin. My heart was bleeding to see her like that. I thought this one is collapse. So I asked her, how did you become so thin in this movie? He says, we have to bow to this Guru 1001 times every day. And the Guru is sitting there. And you did it? Yes, because I thought I got Nirvana. I said, the Guru has got the Nirvana. Logically, he should have seen the Guru. Has he got Nirvana? If a person has a Nirvana, what does he care for anything like these marble things and all that? What does it matter to him? At your cost, he wants to have marble floor. Is he not a parasite? By all logical conclusions, he is a very funny type of a parasite. That he makes fool out of you. That he wants you to make a marble floor for him. Enslaved. And you, like a fool, do it. What nirvana is he going to give you? He has no shame in taking money from young people who are struggling for their life, take away their money, their food and everything, and build marble. He is the cruelest of cruel people. But you are discussing with me and arguing with me and not with that man. Why? But I was happy. That means you are very aware that you are free. But awareness should not be a license. If it becomes a license, then in SahajaYoga, we have many ways of avoiding such people who try arguments too much. SahajaYoga is a very big centrifugal force which sucks it. But it has equal and opposite centripetal force which throws out. It's the last judgment on. And in last judgment, how many stick on and how many go up is a very detached thing for God. He is not bothered. Of course, he would like to say as many as he can. But it has to be also from your side, from human being side, that we should ask, we should try to stick on. If you do not want, he said, all right, go ahead, do what you like, please. This is one of the flaws you can say of Sahaja. It's very sweetly done, no doubt, but you somehow get out. It's your choice. You have to make this choice. This is the moment for you to decide whether you want your realization or not. Logically, again we come that in realization, one has to get collective consciousness. If you haven't got your realization, then there's nothing wrong with SahajaYoga because thousands have got it and thousands have been helped mentally, physically, emotionally, mainly spiritually. But if your heart is weak, if there's black in your heart, if you are full of fears, if you have some diseases, it takes a little time. It is you who has to pay attention to yourself and give some patience to yourself. You have love for yourself. So, with all that detachment, I would say one thing, that as I love you all, because you are seekers and have been seekers for ages, you have to love yourself and forgive yourself. If you cannot forgive yourself, you won't work out. My forgiveness doesn't work out unless you actually forgive yourself. And whatever mistakes you have done, if you just say that you want forgiveness, that's sufficient. No guilt is to be placed within us. Nothing. Whatever is done is done. If Christ is awakened within you, all your karmas will be suffering. If Krishna is awakened within you, you will get collective consciousness. And if your samsara is the last center within you is awakened, then you have complete control over yourself. Absolutely. Then you are on top of the world. Then you start giving others. You change your positions. like a light, when it is enlightened, it just gives light, no questions. It has achieved its aim. That's what happens to you. And that should happen to all of you. It has happened to so many of you. Some have gained a lot. They have paid attention to themselves by loving themselves and have really gone into it and have achieved great heights, despite the fact they were very, very on the low tide, had suffered a lot, had many problems, had gone to really vicious and satanic people who had harmed them completely. They have come out. If you can love yourself, then you can also come out. Don't worry what has happened, it will work. But you have to dedicate yourself to improve your being, which is being harmed by rationality, first of all, or by too much of emotionality and all sorts of municipalities. It's better to keep to the center. Instead of doing something good to you, if you have done by mistake also something wrong, it is wrong. I know you have done it innocently. You have done it innocently. Still, it is a mistake. You have harmed yourself. So it doesn't matter. You have to just love yourself and understand that you can get rid of all these things. It's not difficult. Because it's the vital force that has created this universe, the Brahma Shakti, the power of God that is going to flow through you and is going to correct. And even if you are catch, even if your instrument say is the 10th hand, see second hand, third hand, fourth hand, 11th hand, you can have people. We have people like that. I mean somehow. But your spirit will manifest. It manifests. It's powerful. But how much time do we give and dedication we give to ourselves is very important at this stage. You see, we just like a shopping or something like that, it's just by chance you come and by chance you leave. It's not a chance. You have to do something about it after you have got realization, not before. You have to get all connections done properly after the electricity has started. You have to get all the chakras cleansed up. You have to give to others. Manifest your spirit. Enjoy yourself. All these things you have to do. And understand something. It's so blissful that if you could get over this transitory period of say, for some people it is hardly a week, but some people take over 1 or 2 months or 3 months. If you could get over that period, then you can always be sure that it will work out tremendously. You have to have patience with yourself. And you have to understand there has been some mistakes which are to be corrected. But I have not yet come across anyone who has not been helped by SahajaYoga. Everyone has been, at whatever point they have been, has been helped. Some have been helped much more rapidly, some less. But there's nothing to feel frustrated. After all, what is this life for? You see, we have been doing all kinds of activities for what? What are you achieving? See, there are people who are worried about their parents. What is there to worry about your parents? By worrying, are they going to be cured? No. You can cure them in SahajaYoga. Some are worried about their children. Are you going to help your children by just worrying about it? Bring them to SahajaYoga. Bring them down and they'll be all right. There are people who say that, Mother, I came to you, my brothers, sisters, this and that and that and that in relation in the 10th degree, committed suicide. Now, did your brother ever visit our place? But they expect me to look after up to the point where there is even no talk of SahajaYoga. People are afraid to talk to people about SahajaYoga. If they have a chicken, they just sit down and want to eat all the chocolate themselves. They don't want to talk to us. And then suddenly they come up with the idea that such and such thing has happened, Mother, and I pray to you and this. Why do you pray for others? Why don't you pray for yourself? The one who has got realization has entered into the kingdom of God. And the divine is only responsible for people who are realized. It is not responsible for people who do not care for surgery, who do not care for themselves, who care for something else. They care for money, they care for this, but not for themselves. If they are not worried about themselves, why should divine worry? It's very simple. The whole arithmetic is so simple. Everything is so straightforward. So we cannot see it because we have lost capacity to know ourselves and love. If you really love, then you will ask others to come to SahajaYoga and get the blessings of SahajaYoga. If you really love yourself, then you will see to it that you put all your attention to it and achieve yourself. Those people who are half-baked, go half-baked, then I got a headache, mother, this happened, that happened. The poor mother has to work in any case because you have seen my face, you have obliged me by coming down here, so I have to do it. But is it fair? Is it fair? Is it just? You must have some justice done to me also. And I would request you that some justice should be done to yourself. That's the main point. What justice have you done to yourself? If you waste your life in frivolous things, you are going to suffer no doubt. If you get out of the grace of God, you are going to suffer. If you get His grace, then you are going to enjoy. It's a very simple thing. And in this giving, it's such a lot of joy. So much. I know people don't understand. But if you can really understand a person who enjoys loving others, anything is love. That's the only thing somebody enjoys. That's the first and the last. The most peaceful and the joyful happening for a person. If you can imagine of such a person, then think that there could be someone who just wants nothing. Let's ask some questions. Because awareness is absolutely free. It's free. Next time I must talk on freedom, but today I want to see on awareness. Let us see if there are any questions to ask. Don't be afraid, alright? No question? Any questions? Anyway.
Yeah. Why do you have to like this kundalini?
Why do you have to?
I haven't been before, but why does the kundalini have to rise to become aware?
Why did we have to?
Why do you have to have this big?
Evolve.
Yes. Why do you have to have this experience for awareness?
Why should we evolve, isn't it? We are all right as human beings, as you said.
Well, yes, I mean, I can see why you evolve, but why have this particular experience?
Why should we see?
No, she asks why the Kundalini must rise. Why must the Kundalini rise, she's asking.
I mean, why should we have self-realization?
Yes,
Why that particular type of awareness?
why that particular type of awareness.
Oh, why should we have that awareness? That's the point. Now, first of all, why should we become human beings? We were amoebas better off. Why did we become human beings? What was the need to become human beings? To have these rates to be paid and this insurance to be paid and all this headache and all that. We were better than amoebas, had no problem. Alright? Logical. Alright? First question. Why should we be human beings? First question you should ask. All these horrible appendages we have, like a nose and eyes and all the things. Why to carry on this load? And also tension on our head. Why should we be human beings where we have freedom to choose whether right or wrong, and bump our heads everywhere. Why should we be human beings? Question should be asked. Why? This is the question. If you ask, you will know why you are a human being, and then you will know that to get the answer, you have to get reality. Because we have no meaning to it. We don't understand. Either God must be a crazy person to make us into human beings. Monkeys are better off than us. I can. In a way, they are better off. They don't have problems. They don't have to see newspapers. They have no problems of any kind. I tell you, I don't know if you've seen monkeys. If a child dies of a monkey, own child, as soon as it dies, it leaves. It's not done. It knows it is dead and finished. It knows for it. They know how to live in the atmosphere. They have got everything. The birds know how to do it. They know how to cross the Atlantic and everything to go to Australia. They have everything. We don't have. We have to make aeroplanes. Even if we have to go from here to Scotland. Big problem for us. You see, they have just these nice wings. There are no problems. Nothing. A tiger can eat a cow. But for an Indian, it's difficult even to think like that. What a problem it is. Do's and don'ts and this and that, and laws and regulations, and you have to carry a passport with you, like a criminal. I mean, anybody would say, why this human race? The way we are treated. And animals are not so much insecure as we are. So why God has made this beautiful thing called as human beings? Why has He made it? We can think about it. We can ask this question, but animals never ask, why am I a tiger with such a heavy tail behind me to carry? It does not. So we have the sight or vision of something by which we start thinking, why on earth am I here? Nobody thinks that. I mean the animal part. Only the human beings do. And the answer is, you are here to become one with the whole. The whole is the primordial being. You are a cell. And you have to become one. Unless and until you become that, all the problems that are created by this half-baked awareness of human beings cannot be solved. None of them can be solved. Any one of these problems, say political, economic, anything economical, anything physical, racial, emotional, nothing can be solved because you are not connected with the whole. You cannot solve the problem. It's very simple. Supposing this finger has a problem. It cannot be solved unless and until it is fully connected with the whole. In the same way, unless and until you are fully connected, you are connected in a way because you are living. But you are not aware of it. You do not know how you are connected. So you have to become one. The instrument, if you make an ordinary instrument, it does not think that I am not yet connected with the mains. It does not. Whether it's connected or not makes no difference. But human beings think, oh God, what am I doing here? I have to be connected with something, is it? Then you see these things and find out, yes, I have no meaning unless and until I am connected. But some people have this thinking from very, very long time. They have reached there rationally, then it became their character, they developed onto that, and that's why they have never had. They have got everything, people have got cars, this, that, and next thing you find they come to suicide, you can't understand. I mean, you think you should become Marilyn Monroe, but tomorrow you find she's coming to suicide, it's over. What's the matter with you? You are supposed to be such a happy woman, and what happened? She didn't get the essence of joy in her life. That's how you jump here and there, looking at places where you can find, you cannot be self-satisfied. If you say so, then you have not felt it. No human being can. Of course, awareness is at different times. Some people have a real intense seeking. Intensity. I mean, they want to see, even if the devil comes before them, they say, are you going to give me my name? All right, I will become your disciple. Anything. They don't mind anything. They have such intent. Some people have less, some people have dormant. Like, I would say, people who are developing now, they come to me, Mother, my son has no job. My health is not all right. This is that. Those people are overdeveloped. They suffer from overdevelopment. So they say, we can't see. I have artificial teeth. My eyebrows are artificial. Everything is artificial. So we have from primitive to overly done people. Half done, and we have many sort of things, isn't it, in the same. Now this category exists in everyone, but only thing is that some of them are manifesting it very strongly, some are not. For example, if somebody takes drinking now, for example, I'm not against drinking as such, just now, for the time being, you see. Don't want to say that, because if I say that, some people may not like it. But if you are drinking, then your awareness is dull. Then what? 2 minutes, if I have a little whiskey in the evening, what's wrong? But your awareness, if it is alert, and if you see around, you will try to find a solution, and then you will know something is missing in human beings. That's why we have problems, that's why we are confused. And if you are sensitive and concerned about others, you would like to know how to. That's how you will see for yourself and for others. Alright? Any other question?
When I was here the other week, I was meditating. I was meditating the week before last. And I had a big problem because I was very happy and I felt happier than I've ever been. Do you understand? But what I'd like to know is, can I or anyone else use their own avatar in their own mind to do this? To raise the Kundalini, besides you being looking at you. Do you understand?
Are you got your realization?
Well, I tell you what happened actually, which was a problem to me. As I was meditating here, I realised into this.
Meditating how?
Well, I had my hands open like this.
Towards the photograph?
Yes, towards the
Alright,
photograph.
then you just got the...
And then suddenly, an avatar, head and shoulders of an avatar, came and completely engulfed me. Completely engulfed me. It was really wonderful, actually. I felt very happy. And then suddenly I had a big problem. The face distorted, the neck turned into a corkscrew, a big boil grew from the nose, and I started to lose control. You understand? I really started to sweat, you see. And I had to fight really hard to get rid of this distortion, get rid of this bad distortion of the face and everything. It was some time before I sort of could get level. Now, did I bring this on myself by not completely concentrating on you? Should I have completely...
Did you concentrate on your Radha Chakra before? Did you concentrate here before?
Yes, I always do concentrate there.
That's the point. This is the bridge, or this is the door, as you call it.
Yes.
And if you have been concentrating, it's a weak thing. Of course, Kundalini, you are a seeker, actually, and I'm very happy to know this. I mean, this is a great gift. This I had said, that once a number of people get realization, on the photograph they get realization. It's a very great news and should be celebrated. Actually. Now, if your Atya was alright, this point, see, this is the point, it's the point, which was weak. So what happened when it rushed out? See, it felt all that, but when you came down, your attention suddenly was pushed into right and left. If this was correct, see, for example, this is the door, alright? This is the door, and it's weak door here. When the Kundalini comes up, if this is a good thing, it sustains it, and it's alright. But if this is weak, what happens? That the Kundalini comes up and she takes the attention upward, but then suddenly this gives way. When it gives way, Kundalini goes down, and the attention spreads on the side. And there, these LSD, some sort of things, You see heads and you see the noses and things like that. It's a absolutely LSD, we call it supraconscious thing. People see so very often, when I'm lecturing also, they see so. I'm surprised that they don't run away. They see light coming out of me, and one gentleman, when he came to see me, never saw me. He never saw me, he just saw the light. He just saw the light, you see. And he didn't know to whom to talk. He was thinking the light was speaking or what was happening. But he had taken a lot of LSD, always. I hope he didn't come to me with LSD all, but he was absolutely happy. And then another lady who came to see, her eyes were down like that, and whenever she tried to raise her eyes, you see, he said nothing but pouring of light like folds of light. And she couldn't see that. You see, she couldn't see what was looking at the folds. And she was so frightened, and she said, "Now what is this?" But all this is because of your supraconscious problems or your subconscious problems when you move on your arm. So it is very important to have this pointer. Now I don't know who has told that you should concentrate your I do. It was a big mistake those who have done. I'm told somebody has written even in Gita. Now how can Krishna say that? I don't know. They have actually spoiled everything. That's all I can say. I mean, how can you concentrate here when the door is here? How can you concentrate here? It's said in all the books, much before Krishna also it is said that it is the Brahmaranga which is to be broken. Krishna himself has said the Brahmaranga is to be broken. Then where are you concentrating? Because concentration is done with your attention, isn't it? And you are putting your attention to here. The Kundalini is not going to come out from here. Can you imagine a horn coming out like that? It's not that way. It has to come out here. And so this door which we say, I am the door. He's the door. And the door is weak. Well, we can put it on, no problem. There's nothing to worry. But I'm happy you enjoyed it and you remember it and you're going to get it. But you have given me the greatest news and a great encouragement. If on photographs people start making realization, I don't have to go to all these places. Oh God, I've been traveling for five months, continuous, absolutely continuously by plane, by trains, by buses, by bullock carts. Any conveyance you say, I have used that. You see, every vehicle has one conveyance. I have used all, even elephants. So it would be a great idea if we could get realization. That's the best. And that once happens, I'm sure the day is very nigh that the gates of heavens are going to open. No doubt. No doubt. But that definitely means that you should consult other surgeons about it and get it all right. This is absolutely supraconscious. You see, those people who are sitting here, it's so simple. They are scholars in surgery. You see, within 6 months you can become a scholar in surgery. So it's very simple. You just ask them and you become a scholar yourself. You'll be a scholar of surgery very soon. And in Australia, people ask me, are your disciples or scholars? Scholars. I never knew. Who are the scholars? He said, the way they talk, the way amount of things they know. We think they are scholars. I said, they must be scholars in Wall Street. So, what do I then do now? Would you like to have your realization? Yes. Put your hands towards me. Okay. I'm sorry you have to sit around here. This is very cool. Close your eyes. And do not concentrate there. Allow your attention to be free, actually. Just look. If your attention is going here and there, then you can put your attention on the top of your head, means on the frontal bone area. You feel very good with your back? You think? No? You should feel good. That's good job. You have your own problem or something? You just feel very often? It's not alright. Then you get problems with this right that you don't feel. But just eat your maybe